God says, your miracle will happen in 2 minutes after you see this secret. It's only for you. A good news is coming to your house this Friday. You always skip God. Open it immediately. There are moments in life when the heart quietly aches, waiting for something unseen yet deeply hoped for. You've prayed in silence, held your tears in crowded rooms, and whispered wishes into the darkness when no one was watching. Somehow, it still feels like the answer is taking too long, like God is standing still while you're falling apart inside. But today, God wants you to pause. Breathe. Listen. Because what's coming is not just another blessing, it is the breakthrough you've wept for when no one else knew you were tired. Type Amen if you believe. There is a shift happening around you. It may not look like much right now, perhaps your room is still quiet, your phone still silent, your bills still on the table, but heaven is not blind to your cry. The Lord has not forgotten the way you kept giving even when you had little. He has not overlooked the nights you comforted others when you were aching too. This moment, right here, is sacred. You didn't find these words by accident. You were meant to see them. You were meant to feel this soft whisper in your soul, reminding you that your story is far from over. There's a miracle growing in the background of your life, and it's closer than you think. It's moving behind the closed doors, in rooms you haven't stepped into yet, through people you haven't met. That sudden phone call, that message you've been waiting on, that open door you thought would never unlock, it's coming. Not because you deserve pain, but because God's love has always planned something beautiful through your brokenness. You just couldn't see it yet. You see, the way God works isn't always loud. Sometimes, He moves in the quietest ways, through a soft tug in your heart, through the way a stranger smiles at you when you're feeling unseen, through words like these that seem to reach places even your closest friends can't. And in those moments, it's not just coincidence. It's God saying, I see you. I'm with you. And this waiting is not wasted. Type 1111 if you trust in God. Healing is on its way, not just for your body, but for your heart, your thoughts, your sleep, and your spirit. There are burdens you've been carrying for years that are finally about to fall off. You'll wake up and feel lighter without even knowing why. That's what happens when God enters a situation. He doesn't just change things, He transforms them. The pain becomes purpose. The delay becomes direction. The silence becomes sacred. And the waiting becomes worship. You don't need to have it all figured out. You don't have to fix yourself before the blessing arrives. God isn't waiting for perfection. He's waiting for surrender. For you to breathe, rest, and simply open your hands and say, Lord, I'm ready. That's when the miracle begins, not when everything around you is perfect, but when your heart says yes, even while it's trembling. This is not the end of your story. In fact, something new is just beginning. Friday is not just a day on your calendar. It is a divine appointment. Something is shifting in your favor, not because of what you've done, but because of who God is. A provider. A healer. A father. A protector. He is about to turn what you feared would destroy you into the very thing that lifts you higher than you've ever imagined. And yes, He knows about your doubts too. The ones you don't say out loud. The moments when you wonder if your faith is too small, if you missed your chance, or if you've disappointed Him too many times. But His love isn't built on how strong your faith is. It's built on how unshakable His promise is. And that promise still stands today. You are loved. You are seen. And you are not too late. Even now, grace is flowing through your life like quiet rivers under frozen ground. You might not feel it yet, but soon you'll see the bloom. Don't rush the process. Don't give up 5 minutes before the miracle appears. God's timing isn't slow, it's perfect. He is not holding out on you, He's holding everything together for you. So when it comes, it won't just be good. It will be holy. This is the beginning of a new chapter in your life, one where peace follows you, favor finds you, and joy rises from places you thought were lost forever. You've survived enough. You've sacrificed enough. You've cried enough. Now it's time to receive. Even when your hands feel tired from holding on, God's hands are steady and strong, holding you closer than ever before. There is a tenderness in the way He watches over you, a patience in how He guides you, and a deep love that never fades no matter how many times you stumble. You may feel like you've been walking through a long night, searching for even the smallest light. But God never wastes darkness. He uses it to teach your eyes how to recognize hope. He uses it to shape your heart into something softer, stronger, and more aware of His presence. Every tear you have shed has been counted. Every silent prayer has been heard. Nothing about your pain has gone unnoticed. There are blessings God has prepared for you that will make sense of the waiting. There are answers coming that will bring peace where confusion once lived. You will look back one day and realize that what felt like delay was actually protection. What felt like rejection was redirection. What felt like loss was preparation for something far greater than you imagined. Type 2020 to claim miracles. What if wealth was never about luck, but a hidden brain signal buried in CIA files? This frequency is opening doors, attracting opportunities, and changing lives quickly. Thousands are already using it to attract wealth like never before. Click the link in the description and comments now and activate the money-attracting brain wave today. God's love for you does not depend on your performance. It does not rise when you do everything right, and it does not disappear when you make mistakes. His love is constant, steady, and unconditional. It is a love that reaches into broken places and gently begins to heal them. It is a love that whispers hope into weary hearts. It is a love that stays when everyone else walks away. You are not too broken for God to use. You are not too tired for God to restore. You are not too late for God to bless. He specializes in turning impossible situations into testimonies. He takes shattered dreams and rebuilds them into something even more beautiful than before. He takes wounded hearts and teaches them how to love again. There is a quiet strength growing inside you, even if you don't recognize it yet. Every time you chose to get up when you wanted to stay down, that strength grew. Every time you chose kindness instead of bitterness, that strength grew. Every time you chose to trust God even when you didn't understand, that strength grew. You are becoming someone who carries light into dark places, someone who reflects God's love simply by being who you are. Sometimes God allows you to walk through valleys so you can learn that He is still God even there. Not only on the mountaintops. Not only in seasons of joy. But also in sorrow, in uncertainty, and in the middle of unanswered questions. He walks beside you in every season. He never leaves. He never abandons. He never forgets. You may feel alone, but you are deeply accompanied. Angels surround you. Grace covers you. Mercy follows you. The presence of God rests upon you like a warm blanket on a cold night. Even when you don't feel strong, His strength is carrying you. Even when you don't feel brave, His courage is filling you. There are doors about to open that you thought were permanently closed. There are opportunities coming that you stopped praying for because you assumed they were impossible. God is not limited by your past. He is not intimidated by your mistakes. He is not discouraged by your doubts. He is faithful to finish what He started in you. Your life is not a collection of random events. It is a carefully woven story written by a loving Father. Every chapter has meaning. Every page has purpose. Even the painful parts hold seeds of growth. Even the confusing parts hold hidden blessings. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to breathe. You are allowed to stop carrying everything alone. God never intended for you to survive on your own strength. He invites you to lean on Him, to place your worries in His hands, to trust that He is more than capable of handling what you cannot. Type yes to affirm. A gentle peace is slowly settling over your life. It may arrive quietly, without noise or drama, but it will be real. You will notice that certain things no longer disturb you the way they used to. You will notice that your heart feels lighter. You will notice that your mind feels calmer. That is the work of God healing you from the inside out. You are becoming someone new. Not in a way that erases who you were, but in a way that honors how far you've come. You are growing into a version of yourself that understands grace more deeply, loves more freely, and trusts more fully. You are becoming more aligned with the person God created you to be. There is good news traveling toward you right now. It is moving through places you cannot see. It is being arranged by hands far greater than yours. And when it arrives, it will remind you that God is faithful. It will remind you that your prayers were not in vain. It will remind you that hope was never foolish. You do not need to chase blessings. You do not need to force doors open. You do not need to prove your worth. God already knows your heart. He already sees your efforts. He already understands your struggles. What is meant for you will find you at the right time. Your future is held in the safest hands possible. The same God who formed the stars knows your name. The same God who calms storms can calm your fears. The same God who conquered death is walking beside you through every challenge. Sometimes, the greatest moves of God begin in the quietest moments of your life, when you're not expecting anything extraordinary, when you're just trying to make it through another day. It is in those simple, unnoticed hours, where your soul quietly whispers for peace, where your heart silently aches for relief, that heaven prepares a miracle. You may have thought your time had passed, or that maybe you missed something God tried to give, but the truth is, you have not missed a thing. What is yours is still yours, and what is meant for you is still on the way. Type 666 if you trust Jesus. There are blessings that God is preparing that your heart hasn't even dreamed of yet. Sometimes, what seems like delay is actually God adding beauty to your answer, weaving layers of grace and timing into the blessing so that when it comes, it meets you in the most perfect way. You haven't been forgotten. You haven't been left behind. God's silence is not absence, it's preparation. You've walked through seasons that tried to take your spirit, that nearly broke your hope, but you're still here. That alone is a testimony. Every moment you kept going, every time you whispered a prayer when your voice trembled, every time you smiled through tears, you were planting seeds of strength. And now, the harvest is near. There's a shift happening in the unseen places. You may not feel it, but your spirit can sense it. Something is drawing closer, something holy and filled with light. A 7-second at-home ritual, scientifically proven by neuroscience labs and hidden for decades in CIA files, is now public, and people are seeing money flow into their lives. Scientists say it activates a brain pathway linked to abundance. Click the link in the comments below before this knowledge disappears again. God has seen your loneliness. He has watched you give your all to people who didn't always give back. He has counted the nights you cried yourself to sleep. He remembers the days you stayed strong for others while your own heart felt weak. And now, He's preparing a gift for you. One that restores what was lost, one that mends what was broken, one that brings joy back into places that have been silent for too long. Sometimes we think miracles come only when we shout loud prayers or display unwavering faith, but God often moves in the broken whispers and the quiet tears. He meets us in the silence, in the middle of our questions, in the waiting that feels endless. That's where His love shows its depth, not when everything is easy, but when we have every reason to give up and still choose to believe. You are not just surviving, you are being shaped. You are not just enduring, you are becoming. God is using this season to bring out the kind of faith in you that doesn't shake when storms come. The kind of peace that stays even when the answers don't. The kind of strength that looks like surrender, not struggle. Type 1212 if you walk by faith. God knows your needs before you speak them. He knows your pain before you show it. And He is already at work, sending provision ahead of time. What you think is delayed is actually divinely timed. It will arrive not a moment too soon or too late. When it comes, you'll realize it didn't just meet your need, it spoke directly to your heart. It will feel like a hug from heaven, a reminder that your prayers have always been heard. There is good news coming, and it will bring peace that surpasses your understanding. It will remind you that God never forgot you. That while others may have turned away, He remained close. That when you were uncertain, He was sure. That even now, when you feel unworthy, He still calls you beloved. You don't need to be perfect to be chosen. You don't need to have it all together to be used. God delights in lifting those who feel low, in loving those who feel unlovable, in blessing those who've been overlooked. He doesn't ask you to impress Him, He just asks you to trust Him. The miracle might not always look the way you imagined. It may not come through the person or path you expected. But it will come. And when it does, you will know without a doubt that it was from God. You will feel it deep in your spirit, that soft assurance that only He can give. The kind that brings tears of joy, not confusion. The kind that feels like finally exhaling after holding your breath for too long. There's a reason you're reading this now, at this very moment. God is inviting you to prepare your heart for something new. Not because you're about to earn something, but because you're about to receive something. He's not holding out on you, He's been holding it safe until you were ready. And now, the time is near. Let go of the fear that tells you it's too late. Let go of the guilt that whispers you're not enough. Let go of the heaviness that makes you question your worth. God has already called you His. Already chosen you. Already gone before you. You may not understand the path, but you can trust the one guiding your steps. You may not see the full picture, but you can trust the artist who paints your life with love. You may not feel ready, but God's plan is not limited by your comfort, it's empowered by His promise. Breathe. Rest. The miracle is closer than it has ever been. This Friday isn't just another date, it's a doorway. Something beautiful is approaching, and it has your name on it. When it arrives, it will restore joy, rebuild hope, and refresh your spirit in ways you forgot were possible. There is something sacred about the moments when everything feels quiet, when the world slows down and your heart whispers prayers you're not even sure how to say. In those still places, God listens more closely than you realize. He is not waiting for you to have perfect words or loud faith. He simply wants you to be present with Him, to sit in the quiet and let Him comfort you, to let Him hold the pieces you've been carrying for far too long. Sometimes the miracle begins right there, in your willingness to stop trying so hard and just let God be near. Type 222 if you feel God's presence. You may be feeling worn out. Maybe your soul feels thin from carrying the weight of worry, of memories that won't leave, of uncertainty about what comes next. But God has not asked you to carry this alone. He never created you to walk through valleys without His strength. He knows how you've tried to hold it all together for everyone else. He knows how you smile when your heart feels heavy. He sees through it all, and He is coming with relief. You don't need to hold up the world anymore. God's hands are stronger, and He is already holding you. There are blessings being prepared behind the scenes that will answer not just your needs, but also your unspoken longings. God doesn't just fix what's broken, He pours beauty into the places where sorrow once lived. He doesn't just remove the pain, He replaces it with peace. What you thought would never feel whole again will shine with new joy. What you feared was lost forever will return with more grace than you thought possible. Even now, healing is beginning in places where hurt has lingered for years. There's a slow but certain mending happening in your spirit. The kind that doesn't make headlines but changes everything inside. The kind that softens the tightness in your chest, that makes it easier to breathe, that gently lifts the weight from your shoulders one day at a time. That is the quiet miracle of God's love. How it transforms without rushing, how it restores without forcing, how it renews without asking for anything in return. A classified 7-second morning ritual, once buried in CIA files, is quietly transforming financial lives. In under 30 seconds, it helps shift the mind from scarcity to wealth, with many reporting surprise income and peace. Click the link in the comments below before the page is removed. You've been faithful even in small ways. Even when it felt like no one noticed, even when the return was slow, you kept trusting. You kept believing. You kept hoping. And that hasn't gone unseen by heaven. There are rewards stored up for every moment you chose love over anger, kindness over bitterness, grace over pride. God keeps perfect record of your goodness, even when others forget. And He is faithful to pour back into you what you poured out in love. Type 555 if you believe your heart is being restored. Sometimes you wonder if you're doing enough, if your prayers are enough, if your faith is enough. But God isn't measuring you by your strength, He's holding you in your surrender. He's not keeping score of your mistakes, He's rewriting your story with mercy. You are not being punished. You are being prepared. The struggle you feel now is not your ending, it is the stretching before the breakthrough. When God gets ready to release a miracle, He often starts by changing the atmosphere of your heart. That's why lately, you may feel unsettled. Things that once comforted you may feel different now. Relationships may have shifted. Paths may have closed. But none of this is meant to harm you. It's God gently moving things out of your way so He can make room for something new. The emptiness you feel in some areas of your life isn't a void, it's space being cleared for blessings. The good news that is coming will surprise you. It will come softly, like a sunrise after a long night. It will enter your life without warning but settle so deeply that you'll know it was always meant for you. You won't need to question it. You'll just know. Peace will cover you like a warm coat. Joy will return to places that forgot how to laugh. And love, the kind you deserve, will find its way to you. God is not slow in keeping His promises. He is simply making sure that the blessing doesn't arrive too soon. He is careful with your heart, gentle with your spirit, and patient with your journey. You have not been delayed for nothing. You have been growing, learning, and becoming more of who He created you to be. The miracle that is on its way will match the depth of what you've endured. It won't be small, and it won't be temporary. It will be lasting, holy, and undeniably yours. You may feel tired, and that's okay. Even Jesus rested. Even He stepped away to be alone with the Father. Let this be your time of quiet trust. Don't worry if your faith feels small today. God moves mountains with mustard seeds. Don't fear if you feel unsure. God's strength is perfect in your weakness. Don't hold back your tears. God collects each one and turns them into joy in due time. The people around you may not fully understand what you're walking through, but God does. He sees the exact places where your soul needs comfort. He knows how much it's taken just to keep going. And He is proud of you, not because you've been perfect, but because you've kept going when it would have been easier to quit. That kind of courage matters to Him. That kind of endurance moves heaven. Even in your silence, He hears you. Even in your stillness, He's working. Even in your brokenness, He sees beauty. You are not a burden. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are loved with a love that will never run dry. There is something quiet yet powerful about the way God prepares us for the things we cannot yet see. You might be in a place right now where you're unsure of what's ahead. Maybe you've been feeling stuck in a loop of waiting, praying, and hoping, but nothing seems to change. Maybe you've even started to wonder if God is still listening. But even in your silence, even when your heart feels heavy and tired, God is working. He's not just preparing a miracle for you, He's preparing you for the miracle. Type 1919 to receive miracles. God does not forget the ones who wait with quiet hope. He does not overlook the soul that keeps choosing to believe when there's no visible sign. If you've been feeling like your prayers are small or not powerful enough, know this: what touches heaven is not how loud you pray but how deeply you believe. Every soft whisper, every longing sigh, every moment you chose to trust again, those are the things God holds close. There's something beautiful forming behind the scenes of your life. You can't see it just yet, but it's there. Doors are opening that you didn't knock on. Paths are being cleared that you didn't even know were blocked. Hearts are softening that once turned away. Blessings are gathering speed, and the weight of the weight is about to be lifted. Not because you fought harder, but because you trusted longer. You kept showing up. You kept believing. And that kind of faith moves things. You are standing on the edge of a shift that will feel like grace washing over every dry place in your life. The phone call that changes everything, the message that brings peace, the opportunity that feels too good to be true, it's not fantasy. It's favor. You've been aligned for something greater than your pain. The heartbreak, the delay, the confusion, all of it was soil. And now, something holy is growing from it. There are moments coming where everything will begin to make sense. God doesn't just want to bless your life, He wants to heal it. He wants to pour so much peace into your spirit that it replaces years of anxiety. He wants to restore the joy that was stolen from you in seasons when you didn't even know how to fight back. He wants to show you that what's ahead is still worth dreaming about, even if you've stopped dreaming for a while. Do you know, inside your brain is a small region linked to wealth and success, once buried in restricted research and hidden in CIA files. This newly revealed frequency is helping people replace stress with financial ease, and God has guided you here. Click the link in the description and comments to activate this hidden brain wave now. Sometimes the most powerful healing comes not through something you can touch, but through something you feel. God is touching your heart right now. Softly. Quietly. Gently lifting your burdens, gently reminding you that He's still in control, and still has a plan. He knows you've been waiting a long time. He knows you've questioned why certain things happened. But He hasn't abandoned you in the unknown. He's walking through it with you. Type Amen if your heart agrees. There is a peace coming that doesn't depend on your situation changing. It begins in your soul and flows through everything else. That's what happens when God steps into your life in a new way. The chaos might still be there, but it won't feel as loud. The stress might still surround you, but it won't touch your peace. The problems might not vanish overnight, but they won't have the same hold on you. That's what divine presence feels like, it doesn't remove the storm, it makes you steady within it. God is not just giving you relief, He is preparing you for joy. He is lining up reasons to smile again. He's not done with your story. You've turned too many pages with tears in your eyes, and now it's time for laughter to return. It's time for light to come back in. Your miracle is not just about things getting better, it's about your soul remembering how deeply it is loved by the one who made it. This Friday is not just a date. It's a reminder. A mark. A moment where the unseen will start to touch the seen. Where what was delayed will become delivered. Where what was questioned will become clear. Your steps have not been wasted. Your tears have not been in vain. The prayers you whispered when no one else could hear were heard in full volume by heaven. And now, your answer is moving closer. There's a calmness beginning to settle over your future. You may not have all the answers, but you don't need to. You have a God who walks ahead of you. Who opens doors no one can shut. Who breathes life into dry places. Who comforts you when your own strength runs out. Who fights for you in rooms you've never even entered. That's the God who's about to surprise you. You will look back one day and thank God not just for what He gave you but also for what He removed. The delays, the detours, the rejections, they all protected you from less than you were meant for. He has always been looking out for you, even when you didn't realize it. Even now, He's orchestrating moments that will make you feel seen in the deepest parts of your heart. Take this as a sign that it's okay to hope again. It's okay to expect good things. You're not foolish for believing that God can still show up. In fact, that belief is what makes you strong. That kind of hope lights up the darkest nights. That kind of hope pleases the heart of the Father. You've done enough. You've tried hard enough. Now it's time to rest in Him. Let His grace carry what you cannot. Let His mercy cover what you regret. Let His promises speak louder than your fear. He is faithful. He is present. And He is not finished with you. What's coming will be better than what's gone. What's being built will last longer than what fell apart. What's growing now is deeper, stronger, and more beautiful than what you lost. And it's all unfolding at exactly the right time. When the prayers you've whispered seem to echo into silence, and every hour feels like another reminder of how much you're still waiting. But even in those quiet and uncertain spaces, God is not absent. His hand is still guiding, still shaping, still nurturing the pieces of your life towards something beautiful that you may not see yet, but that He has already completed in His perfect plan. Type 2323 if you agree. Every struggle you have faced, every season you have survived, and every tear you've cried has not been forgotten by the one who created you. You may not fully understand why some doors closed, why certain people left, or why some seasons felt so long, but God has never taken His eyes off of you. His love for you is constant, steady, and unshakable. He never looks away. He never gives up on you, even when you've questioned yourself, even when you've doubted Him. Right now, He is preparing to turn things around in your life, not just on the outside, but within your spirit, your peace, and your hope. The miracle coming your way isn't just about fixing circumstances. It's about healing what you thought would never feel whole again. It's about restoring your heart, renewing your mind, and reminding you of who you are in Him, chosen, loved, protected, and deeply valuable. There is a sacred transformation happening within you. While it may feel like nothing is changing, your faith is growing stronger every time you choose to trust, even when there are no answers. Your spirit is being refined every time you get up and keep going, even when it would be easier to give up. God is building something in you that is preparing you to receive the very thing you've been praying for. And when it comes, it will not only bless you, it will bless others through you. There's a divine appointment over your life. A shift that is about to unfold. And while it may not make sense at first, it will bring clarity, comfort, and confirmation. God is not late. He is right on time. He is a God of details, and every moment of your journey has led you to where you are now, not stuck, but positioned. Not overlooked, but reserved for something greater. Type yes to affirm. Financial freedom is not about effort, but activating a hidden brain signal once buried in CIA files. Neuroscience shows this sound wave helps attract money and opportunity faster, and thousands are already seeing unexpected income. Click the link in the description and comments now to activate the ancient money wave today. Sometimes, when we feel the most unsure, that is exactly when God is closest. He walks with you through the doubt, through the pain, through the worry. He doesn't need you to have perfect faith. He just wants your honest heart. And the truth is, He is already working. In people you haven't met. In places you haven't gone. In ways you haven't thought of yet. What's coming will be more than you hoped for and different from what you expected, but it will be exactly what you need. Your life is not random. The path you are walking is not by chance. God has designed every step, even the ones that felt like detours. Even the delays. Even the disappointments. They are all being redeemed. There is nothing you've been through that God cannot use. And the parts of you that feel most wounded, those are the parts He will fill with purpose. The parts that felt forgotten, those are the parts He is about to bless. He sees how much you've been holding in. He knows the weight you carry that no one else knows about. The silent fears, the hidden pressures, the secret battles. And He's stepping into your story with healing in His hands and kindness in His voice. He's not here to scold you. He's here to lift you up, to remind you that He hasn't changed His mind about you, and to assure you that your breakthrough is on the way. You don't have to pretend with God. You don't have to hide your worry or wear a brave face when you're tired. He loves you fully, as you are. His arms are open, and His heart is for you. When you feel like you have nothing left to give, remember, His strength begins where yours ends. His peace replaces your anxiety. His presence replaces your loneliness. He is enough for you, always. Let this moment be a turning point. Not because everything suddenly makes sense, but because your heart begins to rest in the truth that God is still writing your story. And the next chapter is filled with restoration, favor, and blessings that have been stored up for such a time as this. You've waited. You've trusted. You've grown. Now, get ready to receive. The good news that is coming isn't just an event, it's a reminder. A whisper from heaven that says, you are seen. You are loved. You are not forgotten. And when it arrives, it will touch every part of your life with fresh hope. You will feel joy return to places you thought were empty forever. You will feel confidence grow where fear used to live. You will feel the presence of God in deeper ways than you've known before. Take this time to breathe. To release what you've been carrying. To open your heart once again to the possibility that something better is on its way. Not because life is perfect, but because God is good. And He never leaves a heart surrendered to Him empty. He always fills it, sometimes with peace, sometimes with strength, sometimes with unexpected joy, but always with love. Even in the moments when everything seems quiet and nothing around you is changing, God is moving in powerful ways you can't yet see. You may not feel it in the air. You may not see it in your bank account, your relationships, or your circumstances. But deep in the heart of heaven, things are being set into motion for you. People are being prepared to bless you, situations are being rearranged, and doors you thought were closed forever are being touched by His hand. Type Amen if you believe. The Lord sees your struggle. Not just what others can see on the surface, but the deep weariness in your soul. He sees how you keep showing up every day, trying your best, carrying hope in one hand and pain in the other. You haven't quit, even when you felt like collapsing. You haven't turned away from Him, even when it felt like He was far away. And that kind of faith, quiet, honest, humble faith, is what touches the heart of God more than any perfect words or loud declarations ever could. Your reward isn't far off. There is something sacred and holy approaching your life, and it will settle into place so gently, so perfectly, that you'll know without doubt, this came from God. This wasn't luck. This wasn't coincidence. This was heaven remembering you. This was grace finding you, even in the middle of your waiting. And when it comes, it will make the pain you carried for so long feel lighter. It will bring a peace that doesn't ask questions, and a joy that doesn't need permission. God is not late. He is intentional. He knows what you've been through. He knows what you've lost. He knows what you've learned. And He knows what you need to receive next. He never moves based on pressure, He moves with perfect wisdom. His timing is not just about delivering what you ask for, it's about preparing you to carry it well. And because of that, the blessing will come not only at the right time but in the right way. You won't have to chase it. You won't have to beg for it. It will find you, and it will stay. You've come through seasons that tried to crush your spirit. You've survived things you didn't talk about. You've cried prayers into your pillow and wiped your eyes before anyone could see. You've carried burdens in silence. But those burdens haven't gone unnoticed. God was there for every one of those nights. He stood beside you in every quiet moment. And now, He's sending help. Unexpected help. Divine help. A solution that doesn't come from your own strength but from His mercy. Type 1111 if you trust in God. It's okay to feel tired. It's okay to admit that you're worn out from holding everything together. You don't need to be strong all the time. You don't need to pretend that you're fine. God is not looking for people who pretend to have it all together. He's looking for hearts that are honest, that say, I'm struggling, but I still believe you're good. That kind of heart is where he moves most. A 7-second brain-wave ritual, once reserved for elite people and hidden in CIA files, is now public, and people call it the 30-second miracle. Scientists say it awakens a dormant brain center tied to wealth and blessings. Click the link in the comments below before it's deleted again from the internet. Your story is not over. In fact, you're stepping into one of the most meaningful chapters of your life. The one where broken things begin to heal. The one where peace replaces pressure. The one where you start to see why it all had to happen the way it did. God is not only restoring what was taken, He's multiplying it. The love, the peace, the opportunities, the provision, it's coming back to you in waves, not just drops. The things you once thought you'd never get over will no longer hold you. The grief that clung to you will begin to loosen its grip. The fear that whispered to you at night will grow quiet. Because God is stepping into your life in a new way, not because you earned it, but because He loves you. Deeply. Unconditionally. Eternally. When you feel like you've waited too long, remember, some of the most beautiful things take time. Seeds buried beneath the soil take time to bloom. The darkness isn't proof that nothing is happening. Sometimes, it's proof that something is being nurtured out of sight. You are not forgotten. You are being grown. And as that growth takes place, you're becoming someone new. Someone who knows how to trust even when things are unclear. Someone who knows how to love deeply because you've known what it feels like to be broken. Someone who carries peace because you've been through storms. God is shaping you gently, layer by layer, until you become the reflection of His grace. What's ahead is worth staying hopeful for. There are blessings that will catch you off guard in the best way. There are answers that will come so effortlessly, it will feel like heaven whispered directly into your life. There is freedom coming that will make you feel like you've just stepped out of a prison you didn't even realize you were in. Hold on. Not because everything is easy, but because everything is being aligned. Trust that even now, something is changing. Trust that even if you can't see it, God is still working. Your prayers were never wasted. Your tears were never ignored. Your faith was never too small. This is your reminder, God is not done. Not with your heart. Not with your healing. Not with your story. A shift is coming. The kind that changes not just circumstances, but perspectives. The kind that brings peace even in the waiting. The kind that draws you closer to the one who's always been near, even when you couldn't feel Him. There's a breakthrough coming. One that will make sense of the confusion. One that will feel like a long, deep exhale after years of holding your breath. One that will let you know, you made it. You held on long enough. And now, the blessing has arrived. There is a quiet unfolding happening in your life right now. Even though your surroundings may feel the same, and your circumstances haven't yet reflected the prayers you've spoken, God is moving with a purpose that's far bigger than what you can see. Every step you've taken, every silent cry you've released, every moment you've chosen to keep going despite the pain, He has seen it all. And in heaven's perfect rhythm, your answer is not only forming, it's being released. Type 1212 if you walk by faith. Your life is not waiting to begin. It has already begun, even in the struggles. Even in the stillness. Even in the questions you haven't found words for. God has been writing something sacred through your story, something that carries beauty and redemption, even from the pages you wish you could tear out. You may think you've been stuck, but you've actually been growing. You may feel forgotten, but you've been deeply held. There is a reason you didn't give up when things got hard. There's a reason you're still breathing, still holding on, still reading these words right now. The enemy tried to break you, tried to convince you that things would never get better, tried to steal your hope. But here you are. Not because life has been easy, but because God has been faithful. Even in your darkest hours, His light never left you. Even when you couldn't feel His hand, He never stopped holding yours. Something new is being born inside you. A quiet confidence. A deeper strength. A renewed sense of peace that doesn't depend on what happens around you. This is how miracles begin, not always with loud signs, but with soft shifts inside your soul. You start to breathe a little easier. You start to believe a little more. You begin to sense that maybe, just maybe, something is turning in your favor. And it is. God is preparing you for answered prayers. He's preparing your heart to receive what you've been longing for without fear, without hesitation, without shame. The very thing you've been asking for is being shaped to fit perfectly into your life, not as a temporary fix, but as a lasting gift. And when it comes, it won't bring stress or confusion, it will bring clarity, rest, and confirmation. You'll know it's from Him because it will feel like peace. You are not too late. You are not too far gone. You are not too broken. Those are lies meant to distract you from what God is about to do in your life. What's ahead is not just a little bit better than what you've lost, it's entirely new. New beginnings. New joy. New connections. New favor. Not because of who you are, but because of who God is. And He delights in giving good gifts to His children, especially to the ones who have stayed faithful in the quiet seasons. Type 222 if you believe God is making a way for you. When you feel tired, you don't have to pretend to be strong. When you feel lost, you don't need to figure everything out. God is not looking for your perfection, He is waiting for your surrender. He wants to meet you exactly where you are, in the middle of the mess, in the depth of your emotions, and show you that He's not intimidated by your doubts or exhausted by your pain. He is drawn to the broken-hearted. He stays close when others walk away. A 7-second brainwave ritual uncovered from sealed records and hidden in CIA files is transforming financial lives. It activates a forgotten abundance channel in the brain, leading to new financial opportunities and cleared debts. Click the link in the comments below before it disappears. This is not the end. This is a turning point. The very place where you felt stuck will become the place where you rise. The very path that felt unclear will begin to make sense. The very burden you thought would never lift will become light. Not because everything suddenly becomes perfect, but because you begin to see things through God's eyes. You start to realize that He's been working all along. There's a promise over your life, and it hasn't expired. What God spoke over you in the beginning still holds true now. No delay, no setback, no detour can cancel what God has written. It's still yours. The blessing, the breakthrough, the peace, the restoration. All of it is still part of your story. You haven't missed your moment, you've been prepared for it. And now, it's approaching with quiet confidence. You will receive comfort that heals parts of you that have been hurting for years. You will feel joy return to places you didn't even realize had gone numb. You will look in the mirror and see someone who survived, someone who was transformed not by the absence of pain, but by the presence of God through it. And from that place, you will shine with a light that others can feel. God is not done showing you His goodness. There is more coming. Not just to get by, but to flourish. Not just to survive, but to thrive. You will be surrounded by favor in unexpected places. You will see how the years of sowing in tears are bringing a harvest of peace, laughter, and blessings. You will walk into rooms where you feel seen, valued, and celebrated, not just for what you've done, but for who you are. And all of it begins with believing again. Believing that something beautiful can come from brokenness. Believing that rest can exist even in a storm. Believing that God's hand is still on your life, still guiding, still blessing, still protecting. Believing that your miracle is not on the way, it's already started. What once felt like the end is being rewritten into a divine beginning. You may not have realized it, but heaven has been leaning in closer, watching over every detail, holding your heart through each silent battle you faced alone. Type 555 if you believe your life is about to change. You didn't come across this message by accident. The timing is divine. Your soul has been needing a reminder, a soft voice that tells you, you're still in God's hands. Because even if your days have felt routine, even if nothing dramatic has happened lately, your spirit can feel the change. There's a quiet knowing building inside you, a sense that God is about to surprise you with something better than what you were bracing yourself to live without. God knows how long you've been in survival mode. He knows how deeply you've longed for rest, for comfort, for a breakthrough that doesn't come with conditions or more pain. And He's heard you. Not just the words of your prayers, but the heart behind them. He's heard the ache behind your silence, the hope behind your tears, and the faith behind your fear. You don't need to explain your struggles to Him. He already understands them fully. He's not standing far off waiting for you to be stronger, He's kneeling right beside you, ready to carry you forward. The turnaround is already in motion. You may not see it with your eyes yet, but your spirit is starting to recognize it. That's why lately, you've felt moments of unexplainable calm. That's why your heart has begun to hope again, even if you've been afraid to. Because God is whispering reassurance into your spirit. He's reminding you that He still keeps His promises, even when the road to them is longer than expected. Type 2020 to claim miracles coming your way. There are things about your past that you've tried to bury, things you've hoped no one would ever see. And yet, those are the very places God wants to restore, not to embarrass you, but to heal you completely. He doesn't want to simply patch up the pain and send you on your way. He wants to reach into the deepest places and bring freedom so full and lasting that you'll never walk with the same weight again. What's coming next in your life isn't a temporary relief, it's transformation. God doesn't just change the situation. He changes you through it. You become stronger in faith, softer in heart, and more deeply aware of how loved you truly are. That's what makes the miracle so special. It doesn't just change your outer world. It shifts your inner world, too. You are not forgotten. You're not being overlooked while others get their blessings. Your name has been spoken in heavenly places. The miracle heading toward you has your name on it, and it hasn't been delayed because of anything you've done wrong. It's been protected for the right time. And now, that time is drawing close. There is a joy coming to your home that will be louder than any sorrow you've lived through. There is a peace coming to your heart that will silence every lie you've believed about yourself. There is a kind of love that will surround you and remind you that you were never asking for too much, you were just waiting for the one who could give it fully. And all of that is rooted in the love of Jesus, who sees you, knows you, and still chooses you every single day.